Yep.
We're good?
Yep, I'm rolling.
Are you good as well? Okay. Will you start by saying and spelling your first and last name?
Trevor Elkins, Trevorelkins.
Will you start by just explaining your thoughts when I reached out to you asking about this?
Yeah, I knew instantly when you called and said who you were, what it was about. Obviously, the competitor of yours, a tabloid journalist, wrote a story or did a story yesterday about the issue that happened 4 or 5 months ago at my daughter's basketball game. So I was aware and not surprised by it at all.
Will you talk about what happened in January?
Absolutely. It's really quite simple. There was a play that occurred. My daughter had stolen the basketball, was going down the court, was tackled by a girl on the court at the time. We had no idea who she was. The girl, she was actually tackled instead of being able to shoot a layup. She then the game was tied 10-10. It was a pretty tense game. She then took a couple free throws, made them. They were going back down the court. The same girl that tackled my daughter then became involved in a physical altercation with another girl on our team. A random man who had been yelling obscenities throughout the game goes flying out of the court. The two girls were kind of engaged in a shoving, pulling, hair, scrum, if you will. And then some strange guy goes flying on the court. My immediate reaction was, my daughter's on that court, I'm going out there. I don't know what the guy's intent was. I just know he'd been obnoxious the whole game. Not only, I was not the only, that's the other thing, I was not the only parent that went on the court. There were multiple folks that went running onto the court. He decided as he was walking off the court, shouting obscenities at folks, that he was going to take a swipe at me. That's what he did. I was actually pointing at a ref, at a child, and as I was doing that, that's when I got sideswiped. As you can see by the video that was taken from a person in the stand, you can see there's no physical altercation before that. There's no violence. There's no pushing, shoving, fighting, nothing, until he basically sucker punched me. That basically he did, and I became irate at that point. I did go after him. I was restrained. While being restrained, he reaches over top of the people restraining me again and hits me again. And that was it. Basically, the game was called, everybody left. That's really what happened. The individual happened to have outstanding warrants for his arrest at the time, something that the other journalists decided to leave out of the story. I didn't actually know that until afterwards. I don't know the guy's name to this day. I received a citation for being on the floor. Shouldn't have been on the floor, I admit that, but my daughter was there, and that's what compelled me to go there. I would do it again. That's it. That's what happened.
Why would he have punched you and not other parents? Did you say anything to him?
I didn't. He was jawing. He was running his mouth, and he may have thought I was talking to him. I really don't care. It doesn't matter. I was the closest, I think, is the answer, is why he took a swipe at me, frankly. Don't know. I'm not inside of his head. So.
Do you believe your position as mayor means you're held to a higher standard and conduct out in public?
I think that's generally true, although I don't think my conduct was inappropriate by going onto a floor where some strange man charges out in the middle of a child's altercation to make sure and protect not just my daughter, but the girls that were on the floor. Nobody knew why he was going on the floor. There was a incident on the floor, and he went flying onto the floor. And he had been quite vocal in not with the best language throughout the game. So is there a higher standard for elected officials and those in public office? I don't disagree with that at all. Having said that, my child's on that floor, and my daughter had just the play before been involved in an incident with the same girl. I didn't know what the guy was going to do.
And you've said you believe your behavior, other than going onto the court, was appropriate given the dynamics.
Yeah, I mean, I think, do I think parents should be running on the floor? No, I get it. With that being said, given the circumstances, I think that really is what matters, and that's what needs to be taken into account. I think it's also why when we went to court, I didn't receive the same violation that he received. I received a minor misdemeanor which said, hey, you shouldn't have been on the floor. It's different than the physical attack. He received a higher degree violation. So yes, there's mitigating circumstances and there's all kinds of factors involved. I just can't say it enough. My daughter was on that floor and I don't know what his intentions were.
Did you plead guilty to that misdemeanor?
I pled no contest. The judge, based on the evidence and the statement that I made to the police officer, said, no contest. We find you guilty. You have a fine. Here's your fine. Went home. That was it.
Got it. And what have I not asked you that you would like to share?
I don't think there's any. I think it was an unfortunate circumstance. I don't think it was something that would likely be repeated or replicated. I don't know this guy. I've never met him before. I've never seen him before. Yeah, I mean, outside of saying if some strange man runs onto a basketball court where my daughter is again, I'm going onto that court. I'm not changing that position. That's what I would do. I don't start issues. I don't instigate fights but I'm not going to back down and I'm going to defend myself and my children and my team, the kids on my team, my daughter's team. So that's it. That's what happened.
George, any questions?
Just answer toward Annabelle. Are you pressing charges for him hitting you?
The court actually did that. The prosecutor did that. They charged him with a 4th degree misdemeanor. I was charged with a minor misdemeanor. There's beyond that. I view this as being resolved and done. The court did what the court does, and that was the end of it as far as I'm concerned.
Do you believe this incident at all is relevant to the public, to the people that you serve?
I don't. It was had nothing to do with my role as mayor. Has nothing to do with my conduct in general. Outside of demonstrating to my residents that I would as ferociously defend them, no, I don't think so. I don't think there's no. It speaks to more of I stand my ground for what I believe in.
Anything else?
Stay right there. Let me get a 2-shot.
Less talking. I
Okay.
appreciate you making time, even though I know that this happened 4 months ago.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good. And look, it is what it is. I understand that these things occur. If I wasn't the mayor, you probably would never even know about this event. So I recognize that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, if this were just a parental
Right.
dispute.
Right.
But because you are an elected official.
Fair enough, and totally understand
But I
that.
appreciate you answering the question about
Yeah.
whether you think it's relevant.
Yeah, no, it's a fair question. I just don't think it is. But I also, there are people I'm sure that do think it is. So, I'm going to get it. You're not the first to ask me that question about this or any other issue per se.
Yeah. Okay.